1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. 4. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. This passage describes the rise of a powerful, blasphemous beast, symbolizing a great worldly power or leader empowered by the dragon, Satan. It speaks of global influence, persecution of the faithful, and a period of 42 months of authority. In Revelation 13 verse 1, John describes seeing a beast rising from the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, with blasphemous names on its heads. This beast closely resembles the dragon, Satan, from Revelation 12 verse 3, indicating that it derives its power and authority from him. Symbolism in the description. The sea, symbol of nations and chaos. The sea often symbolizes the restless, turbulent state of human societies or the mass of nations, Isaiah 17 verse 12, Revelation 17 verse 15. It represents the unstable and unpredictable nature of worldly kingdoms, often emerging from times of great upheaval or war. This suggests that the beast arises from among the nations, seizing power in a time of global instability. 7 heads, representation of kingdoms or empires. The 7 heads may symbolize 7 world empires that have historically opposed God's people. These could be Egypt, enslavement of Israel; Assyria, conquest of the northern kingdom of Israel; Babylon, destruction of Jerusalem and the temple; Medo-Persia, oppression under Haman in Esther's time; Greece, desecration of the temple under Antiochus IV; Rome, crucifixion of Christ and early Christian persecution; a future empire, a final world power opposing God. In Revelation 17 verses 9 to 10, the 7 heads are also linked to 7 mountains and 7 kings, possibly representing political and religious powers throughout history. These empires all share one thing in common: they oppose God's rule and oppress his people. 10 horns, symbol of kings or rulers. The 10 horns likely represent 10 kings or leaders who rule alongside the beast or emerge from it, Daniel 7 verse 24. In Daniel 7, a similar beast with 10 horns represents a powerful empire from which a final ruler, Antichrist, arises. These rulers will likely form an alliance or confederation, submitting their power to the beast for a time. Some scholars speculate this could be a revived version of the Roman Empire or another geopolitical system that dominates the world. Blasphemous names, opposition to God. The blasphemous names on the heads indicate that the beast does not just seek political power but also claims divine authority or opposes God directly. This could manifest in a leader or system that demands worship, Revelation 13 verse 15. A false religion that replaces the worship of the true God. A government ideology that exalts itself as the ultimate authority, such as totalitarianism. Historically, rulers like Pharaoh, Nebuchadnezzar, Roman emperors, and others have declared themselves gods, and the final beast will likely continue this pattern. This imagery portrays a powerful, satanically empowered global system that arises in a time of turmoil, takes control through a coalition of rulers, and opposes God by demanding allegiance. It is a continuation of historical empires that have oppressed God's people, but in its final form, it will reach an unprecedented level of power, deception, and blasphemy. The beast I saw was like a leopard, but its feet were like those of a bear, and its mouth was like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power, his throne, and great authority. This description is significant because it connects directly to Daniel 7, where the prophet Daniel has a vision of 4 beasts representing successive world empires. In Revelation, John sees a single beast that combines elements from all 4 beasts in Daniel's vision, signifying a culmination of these empires' traits in one final world power. Like a leopard, grease, speed and deception. In Daniel 7 verse 6, the leopard represents the Greek Empire, specifically Alexander the Great, known for his rapid conquests. The leopard symbolizes speed, agility, and cunning, meaning this final world power will expand quickly and operate with deception. This suggests the beast's empire will have an unmatched ability to dominate swiftly, using advanced warfare, technology, or even political and economic influence. Feet like a bear, Medo-Persia, strength and oppression. In Daniel 7 verse 5, the bear represents the Medo-Persian Empire, known for its brute force and oppressive rule. The bear's feet indicate that this final empire will have a strong military presence, crushing opposition under its weight. Medo-Persia was also known for its law-based governance, so this beastly system may enforce harsh legal or economic control over people. Mouth like a lion, Babylon, arrogance and blasphemy. In Daniel 7 verse 4, the lion represents the Babylonian Empire, known for its majesty, power, and pride. The lion's mouth suggests boastful speech and blasphemy, meaning the beast will likely declare itself divine or speak against God, which Revelation 13 verse 5 confirms. Babylon was also associated with idolatry, occult practices, and religious deception, meaning the beast's kingdom could involve spiritual deception or a false religious system. The fact that all these features are combined into one suggests that the final world empire of the beast will inherit the strongest aspects of all previous oppressive empires. The speed and deception of Greece, leopard. The strength and oppressive control of Medo-Persia, bear. The arrogance, blasphemy, and religious deception of Babylon, lion. It is a culmination of human rebellion against God, forming a single, powerful, global system that surpasses any empire before it. The dragon, identified as Satan in Revelation 12 verse 9, gives the beast its power, throne, and authority. This means the beast is not merely a human empire, but is directly influenced and empowered by Satan himself. This echoes Luke 4 verses 5 to 6, where Satan tempts Jesus by offering him all the kingdoms of the world, showing that Satan has authority over earthly rulers who serve him. This suggests that the final world ruler, Antichrist, will be fully under Satan's control, acting as his representative on earth. The beast is a combination of the most fearsome empires in history, embodying speed, strength, oppression, deception, and blasphemy. It is not just a political power but a spiritual deception, leading the world away from God. Satan himself empowers this system, ensuring that it dominates both politically and religiously, setting the stage for the Great Tribulation. This verse highlights the ultimate rebellion of humanity against God, culminating in a final empire that will dominate the world before its eventual destruction by Christ at his second coming. Revelation 19 verses 11 to 21. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have had a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. This verse presents a mystifying event where one of the beast's heads suffers a seemingly fatal wound but is miraculously healed. This event astounds the world, leading people to marvel at the beast and follow it in awe and worship. A leader who survives an assassination attempt. The head that receives a fatal wound could represent a specific ruler who is believed to be dead but miraculously recovers. This could be a literal assassination attempt or an event where the leader appears to die and returns, imitating Christ's resurrection to deceive the world. Some interpretations suggest this refers to the Antichrist, a charismatic and powerful global leader who miraculously recovers and gains even greater influence. This event would increase his following, as people might believe he has divine or supernatural power. This deception aligns with 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 9 to 10, which describes the Antichrist performing false signs and wonders to deceive many. Instead of an individual, the wounded head may symbolize a once destroyed empire that comes back to life. Throughout history, certain empires have fallen, only to rise again in new forms, e.g., the Roman Empire transitioning into later European powers. This could suggest that the final beast's empire will be a revival of a once defeated kingdom, perhaps one of the 7 historical world powers mentioned in Revelation 17 verses 9 to 11. Some interpretations link this to a revival of the Roman Empire, since Rome was the dominant world power in John's time and has long been associated with end times prophecy. A revived empire would astonish the world, especially if it comes back in a powerful, unexpected way. The wounded but healed head closely mimics Christ's death and resurrection, making it a satanic counterfeit miracle. Just as Christ rose from the dead and gained followers, this event could be Satan's way of deceiving people into worshiping the beast instead of Jesus. This aligns with the Antichrist's role as a false messiah, tricking the world into seeing him as a divine figure. Revelation 13 verse 12 confirms this deception, stating that the false prophet, another beast, forces people to worship the first beast, whose mortal wound was healed. The global reaction shows how easily people will be deceived by signs and wonders. Instead of turning to God, they are fascinated and amazed by the beast's apparent power. This paves the way for global worship of the beast, fulfilling Satan's ultimate goal of drawing humanity away from God. Revelation 13 verse 4. He wounded head's healing could refer to a leader's miraculous survival, a revived empire, or a deceptive resurrection event. This supernatural deception will cause the world to worship the beast, seeing it as invincible. This moment marks a turning point in the end times, leading to global allegiance to the beast and increased persecution of God's people. This passage serves as a warning about the power of deception and the importance of discerning true faith from false miracles. People worshiped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshiped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" This verse describes a pivotal moment in human history where the entire world falls into deception, openly worshiping both the dragon, Satan, and the beast, Antichrist or final world empire. It signifies the ultimate rebellion against God, as humanity turns away from the true Creator to worship a false, satanic power. The world worships the dragon, Satan. For the first time in human history, Satan receives direct worship on a global scale. This is significant because Satan's ultimate desire has always been to be worshipped instead of God. Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 14, Matthew 4 verse 9. The fact that the world worships the dragon means people are fully under his deception, no longer resisting his influence. Many may not realize they are worshiping Satan, as he often disguises himself as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14. The world also worships the beast, which could represent a charismatic leader, Antichrist, who rises to global power. A satanic world empire that dominates politics, military, and religion. This means the beast is not just a political ruler but also has a religious role, demanding loyalty and possibly claiming divinity. Revelation 13:12 later confirms that the false prophet will force the world to worship the beast. The phrase, "Who is like the beast?" echoes Old Testament praises to God, such as Exodus 15 verse 11 and Psalm 89 verse 6, where people declare, "Who is like the Lord?" This twists worship that should belong to God and redirects it to the beast, making it a blasphemous counterfeit. The people see the beast as unbeatable, whether through military dominance, no one can defeat it in war, economic control, it dictates global trade, as seen in Revelation 13 verses 16 to 17, technological power, it enforces its rule through advanced means. This shows that the beast is so powerful that no nation or group can resist it. It implies that all global military forces are either controlled or defeated by the beast. People have given up resisting, believing there is no alternative. This could mean that traditional warfare is no longer possible due to advanced technology, nuclear threats, or total global surveillance. The world surrenders not just militarily but also spiritually, believing that the beast's rule is unchallengeable. Significance of this verse. Satan finally gets his worship, humanity turns to false worship, fulfilling Satan's long-term plan. The beast becomes a false god, people put their faith and trust in a human ruler or system instead of God. Ultimate deception takes hold. The world sees no hope outside the beast's rule, rejecting God's authority. Persecution of God's people begins. Those who refuse to worship the beast will be seen as enemies. Revelation 13 verses 7 to 8. This verse is a warning about the power of deception, false worship, and blind allegiance to worldly systems. It shows how easily people will be led astray when they reject God, setting the stage for the Great Tribulation and the final conflict between good and evil. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months. This verse highlights two key aspects of the beast's rule: its arrogant and blasphemous speech, its limited reign of 42 months, 3.5 years. Tied to the Great Tribulation, the phrase "a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies" shows that the beast is known for its bold and defiant speech. This recalls Daniel 7 verse 8, where the little horn, Antichrist, has a mouth that speaks boastfully. His words likely include claims of divinity, declaring himself as a god, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4, mockery of God, insulting God's name, Jesus Christ, and true believers, denial of biblical truth, promoting false doctrines or anti-Christian ideology, boasts of power, claiming invincibility and the ability to control the world. This aligns with Satan's original rebellion, where he sought to exalt himself above God, Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 14. The beast follows the same pattern, demanding worship and obedience from the world. The beast is allowed to exercise authority for 42 months, 3.5 years. This period is significant because it matches other prophetic time frames in the Bible. Daniel 7:25, the Antichrist will persecute the saints for a time, times, and half a time, interpreted as 3.5 years. Revelation 11:2, the holy city, Jerusalem, will be trampled for 42 months. Revelation 12:6, 12:14, the woman, Israel or the faithful remnant, flees into the wilderness for 1,260 days, 3.5 years. This 42-month period corresponds to the second half of the tribulation, often called the Great Tribulation, Matthew 24 verse 21. During this time, the beast will have full control over world governments, religions, and economies. Christians and Jews will face intense persecution. Revelation 13 verse 7. The world will be forced to worship the beast. Revelation 13 verses 15 to 17. God will allow this rule for a limited time, after which his judgment will fall. The beast is a blasphemous, arrogant ruler. He opposes God and demands worship. His reign is limited, though powerful. He is only allowed to rule for 42 months. This period aligns with the Great Tribulation. It marks the final period of extreme persecution before God's intervention. This verse warns believers that evil may seem powerful, but its time is short. God remains in control, and the beast's rule will ultimately end with Christ's return and final judgment. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God, and to slander his name, his dwelling place, and those who live in heaven. This verse describes how the beast's arrogance and blasphemy escalate, targeting not just God but also his name, his dwelling, heaven, and his people, the saints and angels in heaven. The beast openly mocks God, making it clear that its rule is not just political but spiritually rebellious. Blasphemy can take many forms: denying God's existence or claiming that he is powerless, falsely declaring himself to be God, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4, corrupting true worship with false doctrines and idolatry, denying Jesus Christ as the Son of God, 1 John 2 verse 22. This aligns with Daniel 7 verse 25, where the Antichrist speaks against the Most High. In biblical thought, God's name represents his character, authority, and holiness, Exodus 3 verse 14, Isaiah 42 verse 8. The beast's blasphemy may involve twisting God's name for evil purposes, replacing God's name with his own, forcing people to worship him instead, using false teachings to misrepresent God's nature, such as denying Jesus' divinity or the truth of Scripture. This mirrors past rulers and false religions that distorted God's truth. The dwelling place of God refers to heaven, the seat of his power and glory. The beast might deny the reality of heaven, claiming it is a myth. He could also mock the idea of eternal life or claim that his kingdom on earth is the true paradise. This blasphemy is a direct attack on God's sovereignty, as Satan has always sought to challenge God's throne. Isaiah 14 verses 13 to 14. This includes angels and glorified saints, those who are with God in eternity. Martyrs who were killed for their faith, whom the beast may ridicule. Jesus Christ himself, since he ascended to heaven, the beast may mock or attack Christian beliefs about the afterlife, resurrection, and judgment. His goal is to turn people away from faith in God and toward himself as the ultimate authority. False teachings and religious corruption. The beast may introduce a global false religion that distorts biblical truth. Idolatry and self-worship. He may set up an image of himself for worship. Revelation 13 verse 15. Mockery and propaganda. The world may be indoctrinated to reject biblical faith through media, laws, and cultural shifts. Persecution of believers. Those who remain faithful to God will be ridiculed, arrested, or executed. Revelation 13 verse 7. The beast openly opposes God. His rule is not just about power, but a direct rebellion against God's authority. He seeks to replace true worship through false doctrines, deception, and forced idolatry. He attacks heaven and the saints, mocking believers and distorting the truth about eternity. His blasphemy prepares for greater persecution. This verse sets the stage for the global oppression of Christians in the next passage. This verse warns of a coming time when truth will be twisted, and God's name will be attacked, but ultimately, God's judgment on the beast is certain. Revelation 19 verse 20. See you at part 2.